Wonderland Pin Trouble, Evercade Showcase, X-Men Arcade 2, and YX Arcade1up. Why? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened this week in home arcades, episode 182. Sorry about messing up that intro. I practice. I promise. I practice. What's going on, everybody? I hope everybody has had a great, productive weekend. I have had a great, productive weekend. We'll talk about some of the stuff that I did this weekend a little bit later. Let's talk about what's in the glass or what's not in the bottle. Finished off bullet, so this bottle is done. It is El Gano, empty O. So cheers, everybody. Turn them up. Enjoy yourself. Relax. Let's wax nostalgia. Yes. So yes, sorry about that. Yeah, I messed up I can't believe it. I knew it. I practiced it. I think I got messed up on the X-Men arcade and the arcade one. Like, they were just two arcades. You can't have two arcades together at the same time. In your intro, it throws you all off. It does. It throws you all off. So we'll fix it in post. It's fine. Okay, so what's going on, everybody? Let's talk about the week that was. Had some surprises, had some disappointments, maybe on multiple levels. We're going to talk about that a lot. And one way you can talk about that right now is voting in the poll. Every week we talk about stuff, and we also have a poll question. This week is no different. We have a poll question. So go over to the chat, the live chat right now, and check it out. Here is the question this week. Now, if you don't know what we're talking about, we're going to cover this subject later on in the show, so you don't have to vote right now, but just give this some thought and think about it. Here's the question. After seeing the Wonderland Pinball in action, assuming you did, how do you feel about it? So you got four options. One is, okay, now I'm going to pre-order. I've seen it. I'm good. I want to go ahead and pre-order. The second option is, I'm encouraged, but I'm still waiting. The third option is, I'm discouraged, but I'm still waiting. And then the fourth option is, I've canceled my pre-order. I'm out. I'm out. We're going to talk about that. We got some footage. We have some images courtesy of B Kong himself, really sharing the information. I'm really glad finally we had somebody with some pinball experience actually get on this machine and check it out, put it through its paces, and give us an accurate assessment of where this thing is right now, considering that we got about 10 days left in the Kickstarter. Is it something you want to back? We'll talk about it a little bit later. A lot of stuff going on. Like I said, I've sold some cabinets this weekend. Well, it's funny. This is the first time I brought a cabinet home. I'll talk about it. I didn't buy it, but I didn't steal it. So it's kind of a funky thing. We'll talk about it in a second. Yeah. So let me know in the comments section right now what you drink in the night. If you're drinking anything at all, listen, it doesn't have to be alcoholic. It just has to be something that you enjoy. Speaking of enjoy and what I enjoy talking to you. So let's talk to the first 10. Let's read the first 10 comments today. So showing up at 12:47. What time did the number one comment, the first comment, come in? You're slacking this week. It took you 3 minutes. So 12:57, the show went up. The stream was created out of thin air. And then at 12:51, Cat's dad, Arcade, is saying first. Yes, you are. Coming in the number 1 spot is Cat's Dad's Arcade. Great to see you. And I believe it's your first time in the number 1 spot. Thank you so much for being here. Coming in number 2 is JJ, a member of the channel. Hey, 19K. Am I first? No. Very close. Very close. Also coming in 1252. So you were just behind Cat Dads. You probably commented around the same time. So really close. Coming in the number 3 spot is Angelo P. What's going on, buddy? Great to see you as always. Evening Fox and Chad. Glad to see your surprise box. Let's talk about it and let me know what you think. We'll talk about that at the top of the show for sure. Cat Dad again saying, I think I barely nabbed first. You did. You got it. You got it by the skin of your teeth, by pure seconds, I believe. Seconds indeed. Okay, and JJ is coming in again saying, 19K Files looks like I'm not first, but in the top 3. There's a lot of discussion in the top 10 about the top 10, but we're not going to go over duplicate. Oh, God. Here we go. Oh, here we go. So, Cat Dad's so shell-shocked. Happy Sunday, 19K Fox. Hope you are having a great weekend. Yes, I am having a great weekend. I hope you're having a great weekend, too. Okay, so let's go into the number 4 spot. Who came in number 4? Saying Spirits. What's going on, buddy? Thank you so much for being here. Fox, you teased a Unico update last week, and I did. Stop teasing and start pleasing. Sorry. So that was inadvertent. Saying Spirits. As soon as I ended the show and switched over to the members-only live stream, I saw your comment. I'm like, crap, I forgot to talk about that. So basically, there's really not much going on other than I've had a few updates I really am not ready to share yet, but they are going to be product related. So we are going to be talking about some products coming from Unico. As far as I know, the 30-inch monitor is still moving forward. So that's a good one. I don't have a firm date on that yet. And there is going to be another product coming out, and hopefully I'll get to be a part of it, part of some of maybe the testing to check out and see what's going on. Do look for, I'm not sure what YouTuber is going to get it. They do have the 19-inch monitor, the upgraded 19-inch version of their Phoenix monitor is going to be out for testing. I think Retro RGB is going to be, I'm not sure exactly who's going to have that. But the update is they're still moving forward. Now, they are still dealing with some Nova Blast issues that they've got to get taken care of. There's some bezels out there. There's some plexiglass covers for monitors that have to be replaced. So they're working on that diligently, trying to get that going. But nothing that I can really share with nothing that I can definitively share at this time. But that's basically where they're at. Sorry, I know it's kind of disappointing. Not really worthy of a spot on the thumbnail, but I just wanted you to know that I did see your comment. I apologize for that. And one thing I do love, besides talking to you, is looking at the gifts that you give, not to me, but to other people. And Kevin has gifted someone else a 19K Box membership. I appreciate you, Kevin. And I'll go ahead and give you the number 5 spot as well with the comment, curse you, Fox, and your desire for a more consistent level of income with these $5 memberships. I think I just want to keep it consistently cheap. Consistently cheap at the $5. So coming in the number 6 spot is Israel Gaming. It was great to meet you this weekend, bud. Hopefully you are enjoying your X-Men cabinet. We're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. Coming in the number 7 spot is Nerd Jock. What's going on, buddy? Yo, Fox, start the show already. You said this at 1 o'clock. You were about 7 hours early, but I appreciate your enthusiasm for sure. Okay, we got coming in the number 8 spot is Jason S. What's going on? Hi, Fox and friends. That's right. Gang's all here. Coming in the number 9 spot is Frank D. What's going on, buddy? I haven't drank in a while. I think I'm going to break out the Basil Hayden. Well, there we are. Swing for the fences, my friend. It should be a good time. Hopefully it'll be a good time tonight. And coming in the number 10 spot is JR. Thank you so much for being here, saying, hey, everyone. Hey, how are you? Hey, what's going on? We got Dan Z here. Bill Kirby is also here. Mike Cockert is here, also talking about the Evercade showcase is important. If it is just hardware with built-in SNK games, it could be a disaster. If they have lots of carts, it could be their biggest day ever. Absolutely. A lot riding on that. Prince Vinny is also here. Jason Lil Alien, modding like a mofo in the house. Nova Sonic 23, Molar Medic, the Molar Medic. Going to be receiving something from my personal collection very soon. Show Gecko, what's going on, buddy? Rich, what's going on? Dane Bramage is saying howdy from Dallas. Good to see you, man. Mr. Clutch. Nova Palooza is also here. I'm here. talking about my new store. I think this is actually a different link from last week. This is a Dashery store. Should be a little bit cheaper. It's still through TeePublic, but this is for content creators. Should be a little bit cheaper price point. Check out the store. You can just click on a design, and when you click on the design, it'll give you the options of t-shirts, and if you scroll down, you'll see hoodies and all kind of stuff, coffee mugs and whatever you want. It's there. At least I hope whatever you want is there. Maybe leave us something in the comment section if I'm not making something you want. I may have opened myself up for something there. Gramps Arcade is also here. Rich Ogello is also here just for fun. Miss G, how are you? Great to see you. It was very disappointing that they didn't have a fully functional machine. Oh, we're going to talk about that, ma'am. Yes, we are. MSU Rich, what's going on? The real Zim, not to be confused with an alternative or a light version. I want the full calorie, full-bodied Zim. That's what I want. Dr. Torque is also here. Steve Sale, my brother, how are you doing? I hope you're doing really well, man. Galaga, Guy, 88. Talking about you a little bit later, buddy. We got Pax is also here. Let's see, did we get everybody? I said hi to Dr. Torque. Yes. Calvin Wong, how are you doing, buddy? Good to see you as always. Fireside Arcade, Goofy Foot, the goofiest of feet. Silly feet. I don't know. I don't know. We'll talk. We'll work on that one. We'll come back to that one later. And I think that's about it. Mad Gear Arcade is also here. Chris Ford, what's going on, buddy? Chris, North by Northwest. And we got Gotham City Arcade. What's going on, buddy? What's up, battle? I see everyone canceled their pre-orders for what? I don't think everybody. No, it may have dipped, but I think they're good to go. J Rod's also here. Bobby, one ALU, just one. Why not two? Great to see everybody. I think we got everybody or most everybody. Please comment and vote in the poll. Make sure you vote in the poll. I want to really understand where you're at. I hopefully have an option for everybody. If you've pre-ordered, not pre-ordered, if you're going to buy, just kind of let me know where you feel. Even if you don't plan on buying, let me know if you were encouraged or discouraged by what you saw. And if you didn't see it, we're going to talk about it tonight. Jim Pacers fan is also here. What's going on, buddy? Hey, we got a new member, Pax. Welcome to 19K Fox Nation. And you get to stick around because after the show, you're going to be automatically redirected to the after show where we talk about all kind of stuff. We field dress cats and read the Bible. And we also use profanity and drink more alcohol. And all kind of shenanigans going on. And I'm also going to give everybody in my, all my members are going to get a kind of a sneak peek at a purchase that, I don't know, it's kind of, you're going to help me get through a disaster. So members only, you're going to be giving me grief counseling. So that's what you're going to be doing. So sounds like fun, doesn't it? All right. That's what we signed up for, Fox. Sounds great. Okay. I think I said hi to everybody. So, here we go. We got Gamer Fridge is also in the house. John J., how are you? Good to see you as always. I think we got everybody. Okay. So vote in the poll, sit back, have a drink. I'm going to hit this button over here and let's go ahead and slide into the first topic. Cab's gone. Cab's new. So we got some stuff to talk about. So we had two members of the arcade find new homes this weekend. X-Men, the custom collab cab of my own design, where I took the X-Men PCB and I put it in the X-Men 97 cabinet. Had a lot of fun with this one. I thought it turned out really well. And I had, a community member, Israel Gaming, really wanted it. And I was talking about selling it and some other cabs. And so I was able to I was able to meet Israel this weekend, Saturday, and he came and picked it up, and it was cool. It was a lot of fun. Always love meeting community members. He got to come down actually into the arcade and check it out and kind of give me his thoughts on some of these cabinets. He's never even seen an Astro City, and there's a lot of people that haven't, so he got to kind of check that out for the first time. It was great meeting him and his wife. It was awesome. But yeah, he did come and pick up. So that is in his collection right now. I know he's going to be doing some videos about that. So if you want to check out his channel, he's in the comment section right now. Check out his channel. He's a good guy. Also, the Golden TXL. Today was that day. I didn't get what I wanted, so I did ask $500 for the cabinet. The cabinet cost me $700 3 years ago. I put in a Dell IPS monitor. Well, I put a Dell monitor. I'm not sure if it was IPS or not. That lasted about a year and a half and died. So then the most recent monitor I put in was the IPS. This was a great monitor, and I love the cabinet, and I never had really any issues with the trackball or anything. The monitor was the only big issue. And so I had to kind of come off the price, and it did sell for just under $500. But it needed to go. I've got another bowling game. You know about that one. You know about Silver Strike Bowling. So that had to go. And I was happy with, listen, the guy came and got it. He seems excited about it. So, hey, it is what it is. You can't always get exactly what you want, but I did get what I wanted in the end. It went to another home that's going to enjoy it and going to have a ton of fun. And I got it out of the way because I had to make room for the next thing in the slide. And now this is actually not going into my arcade, but it is in my shop right now. This is a legit Big Blue Street Fighter Champion Edition version. It's a 2-player version. It's not the 3-player. We talked about this, how these cabs are kind of modular. The Big Blue cabinets, like many other cabinets out there, this one's modular. This is set up. You can have these things set up for different players, 4-player, 3-player, and 2-player. It's one of the best 2-player fighting game cabinets ever created, right? It's up there with the Mortal Kombat, the Midway style, right? Really, really awesome. It's a great cabinet. I saw it for sale at a reasonable price, and I was going to get it. But then, then things happen. And I said, you know what? No, I have to resist the temptation. But I did decide to take the temptation and force that on somebody else. So I hit up a couple people, and then one of those people was actually Galaga Guy 88, and he succumbed to the temptation. Actually, it was a really good deal, really good cabinet. I said, listen, if you get this, let me help you do the restoration on it. So we're not going to go insanely crazy on this, but we are going to do all the things that are necessary. There's a few little damaged areas that, the wood has to be sort of treated. So we're gonna do, he's decided he wants us to do T-molding. We're going to do brand new artwork. The marquee is in really good shape, so we're going to keep that like it is. But the bezel around the monitor, we're going to do a brand new control panel overlay, obviously brand new controls, so sticks and buttons and all that stuff. But he wants to go back with the Championship Edition, and I think it's the right call. Now, you can kind of see in the picture, and I'm going to leave some of these details to Galaga Guy. You want to check out his channel, and I'm sure he's going to have some video and footage. I sent him some today, kind of an overview of the cabinet. I don't know what the hell the guy was thinking that did the side art. You can kind of see the little medallion on the side is so it's not horizontal. It's like 90 degrees out, and it's way high. So I don't know what was going on there, but that's wrong. So, but beyond that, it's got a real CPS1 board in there, and it's the board stack is intact, and it looks great. It appears to be all original, no modifications, and it's got a working CRT that looks really good. So it's a good cabinet. I'm going to be working on that. I'll probably post some things about that. I'm not going to go too far in depth because it's not my cabinet. But anytime I get a chance to work on a cabinet like this, like a Big Blue or something that has a lot of, it's not so much sentimental. It's arcade legacy. It's an arcade royalty. It's something that you don't see a lot of. You don't see a lot of these cabinets. They are so sought after that when they do pop up, they're usually gone pretty quickly. So I'm glad I was able to talk him into it. So he's going to have it, and we're just going to put that thing through his paces and clean it up and make it just look nice. And then when we're all done, I'm going to load it up, drive it over to the Galaga Guy 88 arcade, and I'm going to help him install it. And then I'm going to get to check out his arcade. He's been in my arcade. It was a little while ago, but he's been in this arcade. I'm going to be in his arcade. It's going to be a lot of fun. So look for those videos. Look for that coverage. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Those cabinets are great. Also, I teased something today, or not today, but I teased something a couple days ago. I think it might have been yesterday. I teased that I got something. Whatever could it be? Well, most of you figured out what it was. It was a box. And on the box, it said 2 of 2. Most of you knew when you saw it. Not much of a tease. I did get an At Games 4KP. I got it. I don't want to tell you which one. You probably already know, or you think you know. I'm not going to tell you which one I got yet. I only have the first box. The second box, the playfield, was supposed to come today. It didn't, so probably going to be tomorrow. You know how FedEx is. So I got the back box today, or Saturday. The first thing I took out of the box is broken. So I'm going to share more details with the members only live stream, the after show. We'll talk about it. And that sucked. So not the best start to my At Games experience, but I'm going to reserve all judgment until I get the whole thing assembled and check it out. But that was kind of it's not starting off good. Not starting off good. So trust me when I say when I give you a review or my impressions, it will be absolutely unbiased because I spent my own money on this. I'm not in the influencer program. Okay. I don't have PK, pulling the strings. I'll give you my honest review. Also, as a very casual pinball player, that's my point of view. That's my take. I'm excited to join the community of At Games 4KP or the whole pinball VPin community. It's going to be great to jump in and figure out all the things that I don't know because I think that list is pretty long. It's pretty long. So thank you. Thank you for welcoming me to the crew. I appreciate it. Well, my guess was well played VPins was wrong. Well, no, sorry. It's an At Games. It is an At Games. I'll tell you that much. But yeah. Sucks, Fox. What? What did I do already? I've disappointed you. The real Zim is not happy. Not happy. Whoa, what the? Sorry about that. Oh, it appears that there's a tornado warning, but we're going to keep on streaming because okay, you know what it says? Take shelter now in a basement, which we're in. So we're covered. All right, so we're safe. Sorry about that. We'll keep on going. And if you see the internet feed cut, it's probably just no big deal. It's just that a tornado has wiped me off the face of the planet. Awesome. And you wonder why I drink, huh? All right. So with that, sort of depressing point, let's go ahead and scroll down, hit the button, and move on to the second topic. No, we'll be fine. No, I'm already in a basement. No, we're good. I'm not talking to anybody. I was just messing with you. Okay, so Evercade. Evercade is having a showcase. Evercade is having an announcement. Evercade is doing the thing that they do. This is only the third volume. This is only the third time they've done a showcase. Is this like an annual thing? I'm not exactly sure. I'm still, I guess, fairly new to the Evercade scene. Haven't been doing it that long, but I like what I see. I enjoy collecting physical, game media and all that. So I was happy that they're going to actually have a show on their YouTube channel and talk about what's going on, showing us that the next year, the landscape. They kind of do what they did last time. They kind of did like this Marvel Cinematic Universe presentation where they have like this the slate all laid out. They got all the little squares, and they got the dates, and they start plugging in cartridges. And you're like, oh, and then hardware last year was a big thing with the Alpha. So that was really fun. This year, they're going to be talking about other stuff besides just cartridges. Well, here's the thing. We don't really know exactly what hardware, physical media, whatever it is they're going to be talking about. But what we do know is that they are going to reveal, let me do this. They are going to talk about the Neo Geo products. So here's this from their Facebook page on the 26th. It says that the Evercade Showcase will be live on Monday, March 31st. And they specifically called out, they're featuring updates on the upcoming Neo Geo products with an S and more. Tune in at 8 o'clock UK time. That's like 3 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, it's going to be, we're probably going to all be at work still. But we'll be, maybe opening up our phones and checking it out, watching it live, or just check on it right after work. I'm actually going to be traveling to Chicago. I should be back Tuesday night. So it's just for one night, just for one day. But I'm not going to be able to get a video together immediately to respond to that. So I'll probably have to put something together for Tuesday night, maybe. But so it begs the question. So Neo Geo products, we've talked about this a little bit when they announced that they were partnering with Neo Geo. What does that mean? Does that just mean a cartridge, which is absolutely possible? We could just get a cartridge. And okay, that's fine. It would be kind of cool to get multiple cartridges, maybe a cartridge for, some Metal Slug, maybe some cartridge just for Samurai Showdown or, whatever, right? King of Fighters. But I think what we'll probably end up getting is some kind of a compilation of kind of their greatest hits. How many games are we going to get on a single cartridge? Well, if they're going to do some kind of a compilation, I'm thinking maybe, 6 to 8 games. Just depends. If we're running true arcade ROMs, maybe less, maybe about 4, which is, like I said, it's fine if they're running the true arcade ROMs and it and runs smoothly. That's the kicker. Evercade needs to bring it on Monday. I agree, Mike. And considering your YouTube picture, you know what they need to do. They need to bring on the branding, something that Unico absolutely missed the boat on. I mean, absolutely this is horribly generic. This is not what I wanted Unico to do with this handheld, which could have been something pretty cool. this is not what I envisioned. This is generic. This is a couple joysticks. This is just everything about it just feels just wrong. It just feels like a generic handheld number 47. It just doesn't feel like anything unique. Now we know that they do have some handhelds. I don't think that they're going to break out a brand new handheld to be specifically geared for those games. So I don't think they're going to go and change the whole control scheme of their handhelds to accommodate, Neo Geo games. We're probably not going to get that. But some things that I would like to see hardware-wise. So let's say, okay, it's probably safe to assume at the bare minimum, we're going to get a cartridge or two. Maybe we can get like a cool limited edition cartridge like they did with Full Void, where the cartridge was a different color. So like a red cartridge would be sick. That'd be kind of fun. Yeah, all the metal slugs. Absolutely. That would be sick. It'd be cool if they had a full-size cab that took, yes, I agree. That's probably the whole, maybe they can look down the road, maybe like a 3/4 scale cab. They've already done the countercade. Maybe they're considering doing something like that. I don't know if they would even partner with another company to bring that, that 3/4 scale, form factor to market, but, some kind of a cooperative thing. I don't know how that would work. Could they just partner with Big Basic Fun and just make something specific for the Neo Geo? I don't really know how that would work. I would like to see them take that on themselves because they can, they could completely control, they would have creative control over the whole process, and they could make something that I think would be actually pretty cool when you consider what they did with the Alpha. That was pretty, taking that inspiration from Big Blue, they already kind of had the software locked down. The interface was pretty much what we've seen across all their platforms, but it worked, and they've been consistent with it. And that's one of the things I like about it. It's not a radically different UI from Countercade to 3/4 scale they haven't made yet. But like when I'm talking about Arcade1up, it was a radically different stripped down UI on the Countercades versus their 3/4 scales. We don't seem to see that when we're talking about Evercade across all their hardware platforms. So that's exciting. That's interesting. I hope everything shares their roadmap for 2025 in addition to the SNK Neo Geo announcement. I don't think they're going to share everything. They didn't do it last time. Last time they shared some things. They told you how many they had, like the icons. They said there was going to be 20 things come out this year, but you didn't really know what they were. They did say cartridge. They did say hardware. So you kind of knew how many hardware pieces were coming. And they started off by announcing the first 4 cartridges or whatever it was. That's kind of what they did last time. But I think at least they'll show us a roadmap of the total number of things that are coming out, and then how many things are going to be hardware, how many things are going to be cartridges. Now, back to the hardware things that I want to see. Let's say, okay, let's try to be reasonable here. It would be really, really awesome if we got a Super Pocket Neo Geo branded, red with all the MVS, slashes, the white slashes, and it really just popped, and it really was screaming Neo Geo. Now, they're not going to change the layout of the buttons, unfortunately. I wish they would, but they're probably not going to. So exact same form factor, but the multicolor face buttons and then a bright red Super Pocket would be really cool. Is it possible that we could also see a branded EXP? Now, we know that when they partnered with Capcom, the only way you get the Capcom games is if you had to buy their hardware. You had to buy the EXP, the white EXP, to even get the Capcom games at all. They had to be pre-installed on some kind of hardware device. Is that the same thing with the Neo Geo agreement? Is it possible? Now, I don't know if Neo Geo is as sought after as Capcom. Capcom probably has a few more hoops they want you to jump through. Neo Geo maybe is not as demanding, but is it possible that you'd have to buy like an EXP to get the Neo Geo games? I tend to not think so, just because, like I said, it's not quite as sought after as Capcom. But what if they just made an EXP that was red, and the games weren't built in, but it was like the Neo Geo Edition EXP? Is that possible? Maybe another EXPR, just red and all like pimped out with the Neo Geo aesthetic. That would be kind of cool. The next thing I'd like to see, some of you have said this, hey, what about like an alpha? Another alpha. And I don't even what they call the alpha. That's the thing. They called the Evercade Alpha because it was kind of inspired by the Street Fighter Alpha games. So I don't know if this would be that. Would they call it maybe they would call it the MVS? I don't know. But a little big red. That make any sense? A little countercade inspired by the Neo Geo games. Now, we did see the little bitty, this little, like, they're like 4-inch screens on these little desktop things that Neo Geo or SNK came out with, multiple different colors and SKUs and all that. But it just, I just didn't like it. I had one, it was okay, but to get one on that countercade style, the size, that 8-inch screen with that UI running, and it's just themed with the Neo Geo games, but you kind of got to buy the countercade. That's another thing. You'd have to kind of buy the countercade to get those games. You're not going to come in a cart. Like, is that the trade-off we're going to have with every single big publisher? That's what I don't want. You're saying no, LOL. Wait, is it coming out? Not sure. You're talking about the Double Dragon. Tell us how you changed your mind that Double Dragon is coming out. No, I did not change my mind that Double Dragon is coming out. That's not coming out at all. Nope. I don't see it happen. Mo, what's going on, brother? How are you doing? A Little Big Red. Wasn't that chewing gum back in the day? I guess you're right. There were twins riding bikes. Oh, wait, that was Double Man. Okay, I'm not gonna go down the gum rabbit hole with you, Mo. It's great to see you, man. Great to see you, Mike. Thank you for being here. But yeah, a little countercade shaped like, a Big Red, or just something branded with the Neo Geo aesthetic. I would really love to see the little. I don't know if it's worth it to have the little light up marquees like on a Big Red, like like the 4 slot or the 6 slot. I don't know if it's worth all that, but it would be cool just to have that mimicked in some way. A marquee with just 4 squares that are illuminated. Some kind of callback to that would be cool. And you could just do that graphically. It wouldn't have to be something that requires 4 individual, lit boxes. That would be kind of crazy. That could be a bit much. It could be a bit of a reach. Just like a $2 super chat from Kevin Clausen. Thank you so much for your $2 super chat, brother. Really do appreciate it. Why did it take so long to acknowledge Moat? I apologize. The only thing I can say is that I don't pay attention. I get on my soapbox, and I tend to stay there for an extended period of time. And while I'm on my soapbox, you can go to the pit.
Finish him. Melina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
You've been here the whole time. He was here the whole time. To give you like a special. Could somebody put a bell on that guy? I never know when you're here. I don't know. You're like a ninja in the background, like Ninja Gaiden, taking me out when I'm not paying attention. Galaga Guy says my fat ginger self as a kid was called Little Big Red. Well, there you go. We're making connections. We're bringing up traumatic childhoods. It's great fun. So yeah, that would be cool to see. I don't know how much are they willing to invest in Neo Geo. It's out there. Unico's like just pimping these things out on every street corner. It's just, I don't know if it's that valuable of a franchise, valuable of a brand. I think at the very least, I would love to see some cartridges. Obviously, maybe some red cartridges would be sick. That would be cool. I think a Super Pocket themed with Neo Geo is probably likely. They did that with Capcom. They did that with Taito. They did that with everybody. They did that with Atari, where they got a bunch of preloaded games in a Super Pocket. That would be cool. That would be cool. But I think at the bare minimum, I think that no matter what they do, there at least needs to be a cartridge that has some Neo Geo games on it so that everybody can enjoy some of the Neo Geo experience. And I also like the Neo Geo song. I know. I like it. Hey, we go. I didn't mean to click on it. It just happened. It's amazing. It's also a $5 super chat from Jason Little Alien. Why did it take so long to super chat an acknowledgement of good? Why did it take so long to super chat an acknowledgement? I blame you for this because I can't super chat on my own live stream. I got a show to do, buddy. I don't know what you're thinking. But yes, we're all glad that Moat's here, and we're all going to make fun of me for not noticing him. I'm sorry.
Expo. Wolverine win. Rookie.
Mike Hawk, a smaller alpha would be fantastic. Absolutely. Yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement for Neo Geo, not just because of Neo Geo and the greatness of the games, but the fact that we really haven't seen some good representation in a little while. I will give all credit where credit's due. Unico and their MVS-X was a great offering. It was like pretty much taking the 3/4 scale version to the max. loading it with games, giving you the option to have the bar top or the I guess it was the riser and then the other riser. It was the riser's riser. So you could get a riser and a riser and a riser. It's like watch out for earthquakes. This thing could fall down. But yeah, I think that was a great product. I think that the little desktop things were pretty cool. But things like this, it's like, I mean, I like to see a dedicated handheld, but this just doesn't, like, nobody's going to want to get this for the looks. I mean, and really for the games either. You can get this on any Ambernick, anything. It's going to come preloaded with all these games anyway. This was a disappointment. So I hope that Evercade, and I think that they will. Evercade has a good sense of aesthetic. They know how to kind of capitalize on their brands. I mean, partnering with Hyper Mega Fun Tech, I don't know, Super Hyper Mega, I don't know. The guys that make the Super Pockets are really sort of, those are kind of cool pieces that are kind of paying tribute to the actual publishers, the companies that made these games and brought these games to life. And they make these little, these little handhelds to celebrate those companies. And so I really hope that we get to see something just like that for the Neo Geo. And I also really love to see another super chat. This is $5 coming to us from Bill Kirby. Thank you so much for $5 super chat. Why did it take Jason lately so long to send that super chat about the previous super chat? I like where this is going, guys. Keep it coming.
Can't you do any better?
I keep adding super to everything, Frank. I don't know. I just get happy inside it. I don't know. But yeah, you're right. It's just Hyper Megatech. It's the Super Pocket made by Hyper Megatech. It's like a Japanese film, or like a series. It's like one of those series, like whenever the way that they did the Power Rangers, where they took Super Hentai or whatever it was. They just took, well, that's not what they did at all. That was a different thing. They took some footage from just Japan and they just decided to cut and splice it with American teenagers doing American teenager stuff, and they made a show. That's kind of what it feels like. Super Hyper Megatech, Hyper Megatech Super Pocket. I think that we could probably you could probably count on seeing that. I think that way, and that would be really cool. I would love to see that. That would be interesting. Probably the most likely, at least the cartridge, but maybe, just maybe, we can get something a little more fun, a little more substantial. And I'm kind of hoping for a MBS Mini Alpha. I don't know. We got to work on the name. Okay, let's talk about something real quick that I want to talk about. Let me get that off the screen here. There you go. Boom. I want to talk about real quick the game that got me really excited today. I love these beat 'em ups. I love these retro-inspired beat 'em ups. .mu is one of the best. I absolutely love what they did with Turtles and what they did with Streets of Rage 4. Great, incredible games. I'm really looking forward to what Bitmap Bureau is going to do with T2D. That's going to be incredible. Can't wait to actually see if I can get that on my MVS. I love to just overspend on games. But Cosmic Invasion is another game coming out, probably going to be based on their Secret Invasion line of comic, the storyline. Should be interesting. Should be a lot of fun. And it just looks great. It looks awesome. It looks almost as good as a $2 super chat from Kevin. Yeah, it does. It looks really good. Don't use this to buy an ALP 4K. Too late. I've already purchased my ALP 4K, and I didn't have to. I mean, didn't even have to do one GoFundMe. So this game looks incredibly good. I just want to talk about some of the. Let's just show it right here. Just some of the gameplay. I want to just have this kind of playing as we're talking. I killed the audio because I don't know if I did copyright claimed. Look at this. This is so cool. Very, very character specific move sets. The supers are going to be awesome. I think it's going to be really fun. This just looks like so much fun. I love where they're kind of setting this. I think the time period is going to be maybe in the 90s when you consider the costumes, when you consider the versions, especially Wolverine and Storm. They really look like the comic book, and Captain America too, the comic book versions of these characters from the 90s. And let me hit play again. I love watching this. So this could be really cool. I do think that absolutely 100%, if they did it with Turtles, I'll absolutely do it with this. They're going to have DLC. You're going to have more characters for sure. I think they even announced that we're going to have more. I think it's just going to be one of those games where as long as they're willing to animate more characters, the list could be absolutely incredible. I mean, it could be nuts. It could be off the scale, off the chain. Almost as good as a $5 super chat from Jason. The last two super chats had a serious lack of moat acknowledgement. And I think that that is a big problem in the community, and it must be addressed in the next super chat. And you know, when I do something wrong, I got to be called out. And I can always count on Kevin to call me out. Fox adored Moat to buy an ALP 4K. Trader. Never turn your back on your friends, Fox, to make a purchase.
Finish him. Scrap wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
So final thoughts on Comic Invasion. I want to see I want to see the roster just go crazy, insane. I want to see just multiple packs. I will be the moron that continues to buy the DLC constantly over and over and over again to get as many characters as possible. You could go nuts with this. I'm thinking of like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, the whole roster, to the point where you're just getting like, Bone Claws Wolverine. I mean, you're getting different skins. You're getting just different, same character, just like a different outfit. And I think that we would all buy that because this just looks like such a fun game. It's such a great company partnering with, one of the most recognizable IPs on the planet ever. It's going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be just beat 'em up heaven. I'm excited. I can't wait for the game. And I just got to, I got to understand and recognize, and this is something we got to deal with when we talk about physical media. We're going to have to be late to the game when it comes to playing these games. If you're going to stick with physical media, unfortunately that's the way that it is. Now, the way I kind of split this hair is that I'll usually get physical media on my PS4, and then I'll just do like downloadable on the Switch because it's my on the go console, and I've got a big micro SD card in there, so I'll load it up. But yeah, so that's the only downside of being physical, sticking with the physical media. But it's okay. It's okay. I've learned to accept it. I've come to terms with it. Now, let's talk about something else. Talk about something that I also have come to terms with. And it's why Arcade1up? Why? Well, this is what I'm talking about. And it's a downhill slide. Ladies and gentlemen. Hey, am I buying a Switch too? I don't know, not right now. I'm not going to be like a day one buyer. I'm going to wait. I waited and I didn't get my own Switch until the OLED came out. I'm probably not going to wait that long for a 2, but I need to know like what's the compelling reason to get a 2. Now there's going to be some new games. I'm excited about the new games, but I can wait. I can wait and let some of the hysteria die down. One thing that Nintendo does, especially with their, the latest example is the Switch console. They'll come out with the genericest sort of version of it in the beginning. But then you'll get like the Mario versions and the Zelda versions and all the cool versions with the cool limited edition docking stations and Joy-Cons later on in the life cycle. And it really doesn't take that long, maybe just a couple years or maybe 1 year into the life cycle. And if it's going to be available next month, like that's what we're hearing, I think that by Christmas time, we could have some kind of limited edition bundle or something special for Christmas this year. So I'm excited. I want to check it out. I think it's going to be awesome, but I have no problem waiting. I don't have to be a day one Switch guy. I'm pretty happy with my current Switch. Switch 2 is going to be backwards compatible. So I want to check it out, but I'm not dying. I'm really not dying to get it. Not really dying to get it for sure. But yeah, here we go. Here we go. Here it is. Here it is in all of its glory. And it makes me sad to see this company fall to this level. But it's a good thing that I got another $5 super chat to kind of cheer me up just a little bit. Muller Medic, $5. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. All these super chats, all these super late sent super chats, ignoring Moat, the diversion from AL4KP pin IC. What a super concept. I think that if we stick with it, I think it may culminate in something truly substantial. And of course, never to be outdone, Kevin Clausen with another $2 super chat. Here's a super chat to skip and go to the next segment. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't skip it. I got to give you something, buddy. Here you go. This is all your fault. You did it. Don't be over here laughing like you had nothing to do with it. So let's talk about it real quick. Yeah, the downfall of Arcade1up is, you know, it's been apparent for some time. I talked about this in my video. I'm good with it. It's okay. I'm fine. We had our fun. You know, I'm kind of happy, you know, staying that, you know, the deluxe is probably the best that it ever was. And I doubt that anything's going to get any better than the deluxe. You know, I mean, it kind of, that was the peak. The XLs were good, but we only got like a couple good XLs. I mean, Pac-Man XL had the right monitor in it. Everything was good. So it was all good. All good. But, you know, that was like the best Pac-Man. Of course, it was Pac-Man. The other XLs had problems with the monitors and all that stuff, and they weren't quite, you know, but they were the right size. So that was good. But yeah, so this is kind of where we're at. And it's kind of sad. It's a lot sad. I don't want to rehash this too much, but I do want to talk about a couple things. I didn't realize this, but I was on the stream with James Hates Everything, and not everybody saw the seam. This seam, this line between stacked panels. And it's something you got to really consider. It's something that could just knock your socks off. Like a new member, Wicked502. Thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel. I'm going to see you a little bit later in the members only live stream. Doug is here. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Those new 1-ups, they look like crap. Yeah, they do. But I wanted to call attention to the seam because I don't think a lot of people maybe saw this or talked about it or whatever. I just assumed everybody saw this. So let's talk about it. So we're talking about stacking Arcade1ups. We're also talking about a 1-up that's only less than I mean, it's a little over 4 feet tall. So 48 or a little less than 4 feet tall. 48 inches is total for 4 feet. So we're talking about 45.4. So at the peak, this is still shorter than 4 feet in length. And yet they are stacking panels. Why are they doing that? Well, that's so they could have tiny boxes. I think that these boxes are deceiving. I think the fact that they're splitting the side panel on a 4-foot cabinet obviously means that you're going to have smaller boxes. And the seam is going to be there to, I mean, this thing is going to be chopped not quite in half, but pretty damn close. So this is, by all intents and purposes, 100% driven by cutting cost. Yeah. Now, listen, box art looks good. I dig the box art. I think everybody likes the box. If there was some way I could just pay like $20 and just get the box, I'd be happy with that. But unfortunately, that's not what we're going to get. We're going to get a peasant cade, a small cade, cabinet cade. I don't even know what this is called anymore. Peasant. This is like a kind of a step below a peasant cade because the peasant cade was deeply rooted in the first generation of these cabinets. This is not that. This is something different. This is a smaller cabinet, but it's also stacked. So it's going to be, in my mind, a little flimsier, if you could imagine that. But it is going to be a smaller box too. And that's the big reason why they're doing this. How can we make it smaller, cheaper, smaller boxes so retailers can stock these? So unfortunately, you're finally going to see Arcade1ups back in stock, but they're going to be this crap. This is what you're going to be stuck with. And I feel sorry for the people that are going to pick this up thinking it's like the other 1-ups that they saw, but they're going to be disappointed, I think. And it's not so much the size that's going to disappoint them, because that's kind of the size of the peasant cades. And maybe they're like RGT 85. They don't. I don't even want a riser. I want to sit down and game. Okay, I get that. I respect that. I've got a candy cab, so I understand it. It's a comfortable position to game. But they're really going to notice it when it comes to the damn monitor. And this is just atrocious. Going from the 17-inch 4x3 to a 15.6-inch 16x9. Now, what is the difference? What are we talking about? I did this on my video, but I want to show it. I'm going to bring this up again so that you can consider Now, this is a portable laptop monitor. It's a 15.5-inch, 16:9 portable monitor. It has a bezel top and bottom and on the sides. So this is a little bit bigger than the monitor that they're going to use in these cabinets. And you can see the size difference. The playable area is going to be so much smaller. And it's not just because the monitor is physically smaller, top to bottom, vertically, but it's also going to be squished because remember, these are square games. 4x3 square on a rectangle. So you're not even going to have all of this. It's going to be sort of cropped in. So it's going to be incredibly small. We've talked about this. You're talking about like 13 inches of viewable area. So you looking at this monitor, look at just the black part. That's what you're going to have. Radically different. And this is on a 3rd generation cabinet, roughly the same size of what they're coming out. It's ungodly. It's just going to be, it's going to feel incredibly cheap. Like that casino. Remember the Casino-cade? They had a 10-inch monitor on there, a little 10-inch touchscreen. How just ridiculous that looked. It's going to look similar to that. And then, of course, I mean, look at the vertical orientation. Like just the tall, skinny. It's just god awful. And it's really accentuated when you look at the, or magnified, when you look at the Miss Pac-Man. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I know. Listen, I'm not gonna disagree. I'm just talking about in this scenario. 13 inches ain't that great. It's just there's just nothing good about this. And I will take that back. There were 2 positives I took from the video, or the video that I shot talking about this. When you're talking about Mortal Kombat, I do like the fact that the control panel extends over the side panels. So that's a good thing. And the one thing that all of them have is going to be those covers on the side, the screw hole covers. So there you go. And when you ask why Arcade1up, why? Money. Cheaper. Little boxes. Little cabinets. You know? Little screens. You know? I mean, listen, we already got crap for liking these machines because they were small. They were small and they were cheap, and everybody, made fun of us for liking them and having them in our little arcades. But it's fine. It is what it is. But it doesn't really help us combat that criticism when you strip these things down and turn them into what they are now, which is just an absolute joke. It just is. So why Arcade1up? Why? What? They don't have any passion. That's all gone. Obviously, the passion's gone. The direction is gone, and they're just out there just squeezing the last little bit of profitability out of the few licenses that they have, and those are fleeting. I think the only thing they have that has any kind of exclusivity is the Midway Mortal Kombat license. That's it. Yes, saying the money's gone. And along with all the money being gone is the excitement and passion of a fan base that used to be devoted and supported them. But sadly, they have no one to blame but themselves. Okay. We're in pin trouble. That's right. Pin trouble. Oh boy. So we talked about this a lot on the channel. This was something that was going to be new and exciting and radically different from anything we've seen before. And that is the Wonderland Amusements. Alice Goes to Wonderland real pinball machine, but at like a 3/4 scale. So a much smaller real pinball machine under $1,000. We talked about it. We saw at Pinball Expo a shell, but we got to talk to the creators, the good people behind the project, and we were excited about that. Their passion, their excitement was palatable. They were there, they were ready, they were willing, they were able, and but we didn't have anything to see. Well, B actually got to go to WonderCon this year and see what we were hoping was more than just a prototype. Didn't really turn out that way. So let's take a quick look at just some of these images, and I got a little video I want to show you. So here is the playfield that is still prototyped, but mostly there. Mostly there. We'll take a look at some of the actual. B was able to take the glass off and really get in there and take some good images, good pictures of the playfield itself and some of the ramps and stuff. So here's the castle in the back there. And let's see what else I got. Let's see what other pictures I got. Once again, thanks so much, B, for giving us all these images, doing the work, doing the due diligence. This is the apron itself, not just something that's just black, you know, generic. It's got some artwork on it, so it looks really good. This is the business end of the play field right down there with the flippers. And this thing, there's some attention to detail here. This thing looks good. I mean, the artwork looks really good. And I like the accents of the bumpers right there. I like the purple. The flippers themselves blend into the playfield too much. I don't like that. I want them to stand out a little bit more. Maybe if they were white, maybe if they were purple, maybe if they had different color, like contrasting rubbers on the actual flippers themselves. That would have been nice. But you know, it is what it is. This is prototyping, and these are little minor things they could absolutely change when it comes to the production model for sure. Here's some more shots of the outside of this pinball machine, and I mean the artwork looks great. I mean it's got to be close to final versions. It's a good looking little machine. I don't know that anybody could really. I mean you could say it's not really your cup of tea, and I would get that. That's fine, but you'd be disingenuous to say that it was just absolutely ugly, because I don't think you can say it's ugly. You could say it's really not for you, or maybe you don't like the art style, but this thing looks really good. A lot of these, now some of these toys are going to be, they're just like two-dimensional, like here with the Cheshire Cat, but some of the upgrades for the limited edition are going to have like these three-dimensional things and all that. So yeah, so it looks good. Let's go ahead and take a look. That was the good. Okay, let's take a look at the bad. And it's really just right here. I mean, aesthetically, the plunger looks cheap, and the actual, this thing on the front, this coin door, I know this is not the final version, but this is all we have to go on. So I'm going to critique this, knowing that maybe they'll change it, but I mean, I don't know what they're going to change it to, or if they're going to change it. So I'm going to talk about this. This looks like something that Nintendo would make, and I don't mean that in a good way. I mean, it just doesn't. This doesn't look good. Now I know you got to have the D-pad to navigate through the menus and all that. And I get it, but this just doesn't. Think about how awkward this is going to be. Okay, think about this. You're going to be standing in front of it, and now you've got to reach down to you look at the monitor. And you're going to reach down and hit the directional pad up and down, left and right to kind of navigate through the menus and stuff. So I just don't like that. Yeah. Tammy doesn't like the coin door either. I want to see how the physics handle the reduction in size. I'm going to show you a little video in just a second, because there's some things that are really concerning that B was able to kind of point out. It should have been ready for the show, no audio or code. We're going to talk about that too, because that's the next bad. So let's just talk about the physical bad. I think it's definitely that for sure. And let's talk about the rest of the bad. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you the video and we'll talk about it. So I'll show you the video. It's about 1 minute long. Listen to the audio and then we'll talk about it. Exciting, huh? Now pay attention to this right here. Listen to B's commentary.
Oh, like the flipper dies. You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like this.
Yeah.
Like as it catches it, like it's
Yeah.
not strong enough to hold it
Yeah.
up. So that's like a huge
I
thing.
noticed that when I played one of the games.
Okay, so a couple things. Right off the bat, when you're watching this, like you said in the chat, there's no code, there's no audio, there's no reaction to what you're doing on the playfield. You just hear flippers going, and everybody can talk about this is prototype and this is this and this is that. I understand. I know this is a prototype. We've said that over and over again. I get it. But my problem is this. Look how good this thing looks. Look how good this thing looks. You didn't skimp on the artwork. You didn't skip on the toys and some of these details. But you didn't focus on what I think was the most important thing, and that was the code and the play. I mean, some of the call outs, maybe you're not ready, but Peter with amusement could have used his voice for the call outs just to simulate this. There could have been a basic level of code installed so that we could have something, anything to simulate that. I would much rather have seen a brown box or black box and a play field that was just white, but mechanics functioning with some kind of code running, with some sort of reaction. Because when you develop this, you have to physically play it and then react and make changes and tweak the design. All this takes a lot of time, and I'm not trying to downplay what I'm saying. I understand this would take a long time to develop, and I understand that, and I get that. But my problem is there was too much, it appears to me, there was too much effort and emphasis and time spent on the aesthetics of the cabinet than the play of the machine. I said cabinet, sorry, the machine. So while you have a good looking machine that doesn't play well, what is the point? Because with physical pinball, it is all about that. There is no update. I mean, there may be some things in software they can update, but to get the angles of the ramps correct, like B also in his video talks about, you hit these ramps and it's called an air ball. You hit the ramp and it just flies, the ball flies off the ramp because the angle isn't quite right. Doesn't happen all the time, but it happens sometimes. These are physical things that have to be figured out. And the only way to do it is mock it up and play and change and mock that up and play and then mock it up and play, do back and forth and back and forth. The physical stuff takes a long time. Then you can add the layers of paint and graphics and all the pretty stuff. You absolutely needed a good functioning machine, because not only when we're talking about things that are beyond code, think about what we're talking about here. Flippers that are so weak, they can't even hold up the weight of the ball. And I know that some of the initial conversations we had at Pinball Expo, they were talking about, hey, listen, we can save a bunch of money because we can make our own solenoids. We can make our own, electronic devices. They're using magnetic sensors and all that's cool. But I mean, I know there's a lot of things I can't just go out in my shop and just make. Even though it may look like I can make it, I don't have the expertise and the experience to make it, and to make it well, and to make it function. And yeah, here's another thing to think of. It's also a smaller ball. So there's something in the degradation electronically. What's probably happening is maybe the power supply doesn't have enough ass to really pull in that solenoid. I think that's how the flippers are working. You've got a solenoid that pulls in and then hits that. If it doesn't have enough electrical power to generate that magnetic field to really hold that in and keep that flipper solid, you're going to see that over time as the power begins to sort of be consumed by lights and stuff. You see that drain and you see that lack of strength in that solenoid. And we can talk about prototype. Okay, but you've got 10 days left on your Kickstarter. We should have seen something that was mechanically 90% and aesthetically 20%. It could have just had one sticker on it that just said Wonderland Amusement. But the focus should have been on the physical play, because this is not a digital video game. This is a physical pinball machine. And you're going to be scrutinized to the nth degree. And you should be. Because if you buy this, if you back the Kickstarter, and if you purchase this and you get it in your home and you play it and you don't like it, there's nothing you can do about it. On an Arcade1up, you could change the sticks, and you could maybe swap out the monitors and get a different marquee, and you could do all these little things. You shouldn't have to, but you could do these things. If it's a physical pinball machine, you got what you got. The code can add a lot of games and things and change some stuff and call outs and blah, blah, blah. But physically, that had to be correct. And I just think that I understand this is probably not what they wanted, but this is what we got. And we can talk about this all day long, but it comes to crunch time when we need to see something physically working. And I think they should have spent less time on the artwork and more time on the mechanics, on the nuts and bolts that make this thing actually function. That's what I wanted to see from them, and we didn't get that at all. Kimmy said, my CERN and Labyrinth fling balls all over the shop. Okay. So maybe this is a common problem. And Cammy, you probably know more than me, having an actual pinball machine. Airball, yeah, airballs are common on real pins. Okay, and maybe it's something that they can't eliminate. But it's just something that B called out. So I bring that but thank you for contributing, because I don't have a real pinball machine. So this is where I'm lacking, right? 22 millimeters as opposed to 27 millimeter ball. I believe I think that was the difference. True. 10 days left. I'm assuming they won't have any more updates by then. Well, software updates are one thing you can push out. You can work on code and you can just send that out and they can download that. But physical improvements, that is R&D. That's just time. You have to physically make it, 3D printed, whatever, install it, and then try it. And then, ooh, that didn't work. Try it again. Try something else. Make a different alteration. And that is not done with artwork on the side of the cab. That's with the cab just being bare bones. Focusing on the mechanics. Focus on the play before you focus on the way that it looks. So that's where I have a little trepidation. Not that the team can't pull it together. Not that the team is lacking passion. You know, it's like John D. I mean, these guys are passionate about what they do. I don't think that they want to do something or build something that's going to disappoint anybody. I don't think that there's not a nefarious bone in their bodies as far as I can tell. But I think that the priorities were wrong. There was too much focus on the way that it looked instead of the way that it plays. And we're seeing that right now. This is something, listen, I mean, if it was you and you had everything riding on this one thing, this one coaster, whatever it is, if you had a pinball machine, and okay, I heard the DMD got dislodged and fell out. Okay, well, I would travel with a backup DMD. I would travel with a backup, well, I get maybe not a playfield, but backup parts and solenoids and stuff, you know, so that if we had an issue, you know, we could swap parts in and be good to go. You know, I would have some of these things on hand. But sometimes there's something you just can't cover up. And things like the flipper just failing over time, losing power so much so that it can't even hold up the weight of the ball. And then that was a 1 minute video. I think B, when the video was edited down. I think that was about 2 minutes of play, 2 minutes of straight play with nothing else going on, no call outs, no nothing, lights, but the lights aren't really reacting to anything. They're just on a cycle. So my point is there's not that much demand on the PC or whatever's running everything. And we're having these problems. We're having these issues. I think everybody needed to see that mechanically this was sound before we push this out to people. The artwork could have happened later. The call-outs with professional voice actors could have happened later. The game modes could have happened later. You can develop that later once you have a good working play field and good mechanics. But unfortunately, I haven't seen that yet. And it makes me sad. But one thing that I do see that makes me happy is a $10 super chat from Bill Kirby. Thank you so much for $10 super chat, brother. Really do appreciate the support. That's what happens when they take advice about artwork from Michael B. and concentrate on that like that's what the community wants. LOL. We still love you, Mike. I don't think we can blame Mike on this one. Well, I mean, maybe it's not justified, but it's definitely fun. Doug is in my court. I'm with you on not having a real pinball machine. I do have the Arcade1up Star Wars pinball, which I'm happy with. Yeah, and I think that's why I definitely decided to go for the not the AVP. I always keep saying AVP, the 4KP for Matt Games. I think that's that's me personally. I didn't want to invest in. I was waiting to see. It's funny. After I saw this footage, I'm like, well, I'm getting a 4KP, and I ordered it. Actually, I think that may be not true. I think I did it a couple days beforehand. But at some point, I just said, you know what? I just don't think this is going to come together. And I just decided I'll just go with the 4KP and be done with it. At 19K Fox, there were no dings, blings, flashing lights, no acoustic or lighting effects that keep one engaged. Man, I agree with you. Now, I can give some of that a pass because that is just code. But that also hints at a mechanical aspect, right? Code is when you're just talking about a video game on a screen, code is everything, but code is a big part of the physical pinball, but also the physical reaction to what's going on. The code is just controlling physical objects on the playfield. Reactions, what's going on. I mean, they didn't have anything playing. There's no music. There's no reactions. There's no nothing. And you can do that with no artwork or anything. You don't have to have professional voice actors and all this other stuff. You can just have some kind of code running a basic game. Nothing crazy, nothing elaborate, nothing, all these different modes and stuff. Just something, just one single game mode over and over again. And that's how you start, right? One step at a time. That's how you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. Get one layer of code going, get one game going, and let's perfect this one game. Make sure this one game is as good as we can get it. Maybe not perfection, but as good. Let's get this one game mode solid. And then we branch off from that. I just don't think that happened. But what did happen is a $2 super chat from Kevin Clausen. Who knew? Don't ignore B. Kirby's super chat. You're right. I won't do it. But your super chats help me to not forget. Yeah. Thanks again for the super chats. I really do appreciate it. So yeah, I think that's where I'm at on this. I think we've had enough time to where that we should have seen something a little more mechanically, maybe not impressive, but at the very least reassuring. And I still see that they're a long way away. And I've seen this many times where we have artificial dates set in stone that we're supposed to deliver to the public and go. And I'm afraid this may be rushed out a little too soon. I think the focus should have been on the mechanics rather than the aesthetics. That could have come later. The artwork could have come later. The cool stuff could have come later. I would have liked to seen this in, I mean, even if it was just 3D printed version, all white or black or whatever. I didn't need all the pomp and circumstance. The chrome, we didn't even need the chrome. Just show us a functioning, fun game. And Patrick, PD7, P-Dubs said this on the Super Game Room News. He didn't see people playing the game and having fun. It seemed very quiet, very kind of dead. What's going on here? I mean, at this point, we should be beyond just hitting a one ramp, right? We should hear something. We should see something. There should be some fun stuff going on, and I just don't see it. And I see problems that could really be major. And I don't see anything. And the big thing is I really just don't see anything that would make me want to run out and back this Kickstarter. The great thing is they've already got their funding. So if you're on the fence about this, wait. They are fully backed, fully funded. Shout out to everybody that backed this thing right away. That's awesome. Now, for the rest of us, let's just sit back and wait and see if they can get this going. And to the guys, the people involved with this pinball machine and amusement, Wonderland Amusement, take your time. If you got to delay the release of this to where you get something good and solid and it's fun and it's rock solid, it's not going to fail, or you think it's not going to fail, wait, get that right before you release this so that nobody's disappointed, so that we can look forward to your next pinball machine. And hopefully, just hopefully, this won't be your last. Would you look at that?
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Unfortunately, it is that time to go ahead and wrap it up. But before we go, we got to talk about the poll question. The poll question was simple. After seeing the pinball, the Wonderland Pinball in action, how do you feel about it? You're going to pre-order. You're encouraged, but you're still waiting. You're discouraged, but you're still waiting. Or you've canceled your pre-order. 106 votes, 107. Let's go ahead and end the poll right now. Thank you so much, everybody, for taking the time to vote in it. And we'll go ahead and real quick Let's just get a boom. I got to do that screenshot. Boom. There we go. And coming in last place was, now I'm going to pre-order with 12%. Still not bad. 12%. So we got about, well, I guess 12 people, about 106 votes. I'm sorry, it was 108 votes. Coming in at number 3 is I've canceled my pre-order. So the two extremes are already knocked out of the equation. So who wins the battle? Coming in the number 1 spot is with 42%. I'm discouraged, but still waiting. So 42%, 29% say encouraged, but still waiting. So you've got 70%, 71% saying that we are either encouraged or discouraged, but we're still waiting or curious. And I think that's where you should stay. If that's where you're at right now, just stay. Just wait. It's fully backed. See what happens. And the worst case scenario is you're going to get a regular edition version of a good pinball machine. And I hope they can deliver it. And more importantly, I hope that everybody that backed it can enjoy it. Everybody have a great week. Don't work too hard. I'm going to be in Chicago Monday night, coming back here Tuesday. So it's going to be a turn and burn. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to Galloping Ghosts, unfortunately. But listen, Chicago is only 5 hours away. So as always, next time. Members stay right here. You're going to be automatically redirected to the after show where we're going to talk about all this stuff. And I'm going to show you the damage that I received on my 4KP. And yes, that means you're going to get to know, you're going to get to see which version I got. Thank you so much for stopping by, everybody, checking out the channel. You have a blessed day, a blessed week, and I'll see all of you right back here next time. Peace.